Hello?
Sir, good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Yes,
Yes?
Pragati, continue.
Sir, CATMate we are presenting today, sir.
CATMate, okay. Yeah, go ahead.
Yes, sir.
Hello?
Sir, can you see the screen, sir?
Yeah. You have complete data, no? CAT data?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Just a minute. Hello? Second. ఉండమనండి అక్కడ ఉండే చూడమని ఉండమని హలో
Sir.
Go ahead, please.
Yes, sir. So, 8-year-old female child, T. Manasa, detected to have cyanotic heart disease at 5 months of age, with history suggestive of cyanotic spells and history of squatting. Sir. No history of cyanotic spells in neonatal age. No history of failure to thrive, recurrent lower respiratory tract infection, or congestive heart failure. And she underwent a surgery by left thoracotomy incision 5 years back, following which there was a modest improvement in symptoms. Now presented with history of exertional shortness of breath of NYHA functional class 2. So she was born out of non-consanguineous marriage, normal perinatal.
Your voice is very low.
Okay. Now presented with history of exertional shortness of breath of NYHA functional class 2. Is it okay now? Audible?
Yes.
Okay. She's born out of non-consanguineous marriage, normal and uneventful perinatal history, and she has got a one younger sibling who is normal, and her developmental milestones are normal, sir. So to brief the history, 8-year-old female child presented with history of cyanosis at 5 months of age, sir, with history suggestive of cyanotic spells and squatting. And she underwent surgery through left thoracotomy incision 5 years back, sir. Now, then she was symptomatically better, and now she presented with exertional shortness of breath, sir, aggravation of shortness of breath in NYHA function class 2 currently.
Yes.
So the history goes more in favor of VSD-PS physiology, sir.
You can tell the findings also. For CATMate, you can give the complete description.
Okay, sir. Yes. And examination, child is moderately built and moderately nourished. There is central cyanosis and grade 3 pan-digital clubbing, and no anemia, sir. And pulse is 90 per minute, regular, normal in volume and character, with no radial or brachiofemoral delay, and all peripheral pulses symmetrically felt on both sides. And jugular venous pressure, mean column is normal with normal waveforms, normal respiratory variation, and hepatojugular reflex absent. And inspection and palpation together, there is RV type of apexa with parasternal pulsations, and PA is not palpable, and no other palpable sounds or thrills. And on auscultation, first heart sound is normal, second heart sound single component heard, and it is loud, sir. And there is grade 4/6 harsh mixed frequency ejection systolic murmur with mid peaking, occupying about 2/3 of systole and best heard in left, second, and third intercostal spaces. And mixed frequency continuous murmur is present in the left infraclavicular area.
Yes. So, ECG is not needed. Explain clinical findings you can discuss.
Yes. So by history, cyanosis at 5 months of age, and cyanotic spells and squatting episodes present, sir. So it goes more in favor of VSD-PS physiology on the first go, and possibility will be classical TOF, sir. Or it can be a DORV, VSD-PS, subbiotic VSD, and PS condition, sir, or it can be single ventricle with PS physiology, or AV canal defect with PS. It can be a tricuspid atresia.
No, your first
Also,
possibility is tetralogy.
First possibility is classical tetralogy, sir. Classical
Huh. So how do you explain parasternal pulsations with tetralogy? The other thing is, you said a very loud murmur is there, grade 4 murmur, which is a
Yes.
relatively longer murmur. How commonly you expect
Yes.
a grade 4 murmur, which is very long in tetralogy? When there is
Only in Hoffman variant we can expect, sir. Otherwise, yes, sir. That was only by history, sir. By examination, TOF is less likely, sir.
Hmm.
So
No,
exam.
together, history and clinical examination together.
Yes.
Cathmates, we can discuss history and clinical examination together. Whereas bedsides, only history will be analyzing.
Yes, sir.
Cathmates, we can discuss history and examination together. What are the
Yes.
possibilities?
Yes, sir. Presence of parasternal pulsations and long murmur, sir.
Hmm.
So possibility will be a DORV with subaortic VSD and pulmonary stenosis, sir. First would be. And other conditions with longer murmur are single ventricle with bulboventricular foramen restriction, sir. Or there can be a LTGA with left AV valve regurgitation, sir. Or TOF with AV canal defect with the left AV valve regurgitation with the jet directing towards the base, sir. Then the murmur would be louder.
You said ventricular apex is right ventricular type, no?
RV type of apex.
So
Yes,
what
sir.
would be the apex like in single ventricle with AST, PS physiology?
It is LV type, sir. LV type is more common, sir.
What about
I'm just
with endocardial cushion defect and left AV valve regurgitation?
that is LV type of apex.
RV type of apical impulse. So here it is basically an RV type of apical impulse. So you have to discuss those possibilities wherein the apex is RV type and murmur is longer.
Then it is DO or so double outlet right ventricle with subaortic VSD and PS.
Subaortic VSD and PS. So that is one possibility which can explain left parasternal pulsations as well as RV type of apical impulse and also longer murmur.
Yes.
Loud and longer murmur. It is grade 4 murmur, which is also longer, you said, no? Almost
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. More than 2/3 of systole.
So what else? What other possibilities can fit into this? You said patient is anemic. How do you detect anemia in the presence of cyanosis?
No, sir. I didn't say anemic, sir.
No, in the beginning you said anemic patient is anemic. At the time of examination.
I said not anemic, sir.
How do you detect? I don't know whether he is not anemic or anemic in the presence of cyanosis.
Cyanosis.
Okay. So what are the other possibilities with this clinical findings? One is DOR, you said.
Yes, sir. Sir, so can it be single ventricle of RV physiology, sir? Because even it invariably presents with DRV.
Single ventricle with RV physiology. How common it is?
It is very rare, sir. Only 10% of single ventricle physiologists has RV.
Rare, okay. So what are the other possibilities? Yeah. No,
So mitral atresia. Mitral atresia, sir.
It is wherein there is a long murmur with deep cyanosis with RV apex. This is the
mitral atresia, sir. Hello, sir.
Mitral atresia, where do you get a long murmur?
If the interatrial communication is restrictive, sir. Or HLHS, sir. But HLHS, they do present early, sir. She has cyanosis from 5 months of age.
Why you are not considering any RV obstructions? What are the other types of RV obstructions wherein
Isolated pulmonary stenosis, sir.
There can
Severe
be
pulmonary
VSD
stenosis.
and shunting.
So PS with ASD, sir.
Is it PS with ASD?
So PS with ASD, JVP
Yeah, that
would be
great.
more prominent, sir, and
Section 1 month.
parasternal heave we expect, sir. And in PS with ASD, cyanosis will be a late presentation, sir. Only after RV failure sets in, there will be
Exactly.
shunting.
By the time patient will be in heart failure. JVP will be significantly elevated. AV will be very prominent. And also there will be right to left shunting across the AST. There is significant left parasternal lifting also.
And clinically also, second heart sound, P2 would be soft, sir, and wide split will be expected, sir. And murmur will also be long, late peaking murmur with pulmonary stenosis. We also
Murmur site also will be higher up. Here the murmur is a little lower, no?
Yes, sir. And epigastric pulsations also you expect, sir.
What else? There will be inconstant ejection click if there is no RV failure.
Yes.
Inconstant. That is about PS.
Yes.
What other conditions can be considered wherein the murmur is a little lower down?
So DCRV, sir. Double chamber right ventricle.
Right ventricle. Double chambered right ventricle also can present like tetralogy sometimes. Because basically here there is an VSD that is communicating with the high pressure chamber.
Yes.
There can be right to left shunting if the obstruction is very severe. And there cannot be any significant left parasternal pulsations also. Because the functional RV will be smaller. There the RV is smaller. The distal chamber is smaller.
But we do expect localized pulsations in DCRV, so lower down.
Not lower down. Sometimes the pulsations may be higher up actually. Basically, that may be because of the infundibular pulsations. Infundibulum is dilated in DCRV.
Yes.
If infundibular dilatation is there, clearly it can cause some pulsations. But otherwise, in DCRV, the left parasternal lift won't be significant. So when there are signs of RV obstruction severe without significant left parasternal lift, this is one possibility which you should consider. Or if there is a VSD communicating with the high pressure chamber, or there is a large VSD with PS. There also you don't get any left parasternal pulsations.
Yes.
So that is one possibility you should consider. It may sometimes resemble like tetralogy when there is right to left shunting across VSD.
Yes, sir. Sir, but there is history of surgery done, sir.
Yeah. Okay. If you take that into consideration, naturally, what could be the surgery?
By history, it is left lateral thoracotomy, sir. On examination also, there was a left thoracotomy scar. So, possibility will be BT shunt, sir. Either conventional BT shunt or a modified BT shunt, sir. Or there can be a POTS shunt.
Modified?
It will depend on the arch-sidedness, sir. If it is a conventional BT shunt, it will be done opposite to the arch-sidedness. Here we are considering a cyanotic heart disease with severe RVOT obstruction. So high chances that it is a right aortic arch association. So maybe conventional BT shunt on left is done. Sir?
Clinically, how do you know whether it is a conventional or modified?
Clinically, there will be limb atrophy, sir. On the side of BT shunt, conventional BT shunt, there will be limb hypertrophy.
What will be hypertrophy? Pulses like?
Pulse will be feeble, sir.
Yeah.
Here,
so, clinically, the pulses describe all these findings. Limb may be a little smaller, and also pulses may be weak in conventional BT shunts.
Yes.
Yeah.
So POTS shunt, sir. Left lateral thoracotomy scar.
Do you think it is a POTS shunt?
No, sir. Just differentials for left lateral thoracotomy scars.
Okay, but nowadays it is not done, no?
Yes, sir. Yes, it is absolute now.
No. So you think it's a VSD PS physiology with a post BT shunt?
Yes, sir.
So why the murmur is very prominent?
Sir, murmur is due to RVOT obstruction, sir.
Tetralogy is
There
a
bec-
obstruction
Yes,
only.
sir. Yes, sir. Because there is still antigrade flow, sir, across MPA. So the murmur is still there, sir.
When do you get a louder murmur in tetralogy compared to the degree of cyanosis?
So top physiology, sir, you mean? Or only tetralogy?
No. Disproportionately louder murmur compared to the degree of cyanosis. When do you get? In tetralogy.
Restrictive VST, sir. Hoffman variant.
Hmm?
Hoffman variant, sir.
What is that variant?
Restrictive VST, sir.
How does it happen?
Because VST will be closed by either the septal tricuspid leaflet or the right coronary cusp, sir.
Mhm. So what will happen?
So the murmur will be louder, sir.
Because of
VSD, sir. Restrictive VSD.
VSD should give pansystolic murmur, no?
Yeah.
What will happen if there is that is also called flap wall VSD?
Flap valve VSD. Yes, sir.
So when there is a flap wall VSD, the RV pressure will be higher than LV pressure. Normally in tetralogy, VSD is a large one. The RV and LV, they behave like a single chamber. The pressures are equal. If you do cardiac catheterization, the pressures are equal, both systolic as well as diastolic pressures in RV and LV. Whereas there is a flap wall VSD, there will be suprasystemic pressures in RV. There will be left parasternal lifting can be there, and the murmur will be very loud. The RV outflow murmur also would be very loud, because RV will be pumping with a high pressure, no?
Yes.
So it gives a very loud murmur, and there can be a thrill also.
Yes.
So when there is a flap wall VSD, the murmur can be very loud. The RV murmur can also be very loud. So that is one condition. Where else the murmur will be louder in tetralogy?
Top with the DCRV, sir.
Tetralogy with the DCRV.
DCRV, sir.
So when there is a DCRV, also the murmur would be disproportionately loud. Otherwise, in tetralogy, the intensity of cyanosis and the murmur intensity and length behave in a different way, in opposite directions. The cyanosis is severe, the murmur will be shorter and less prominent, because the pulmonary flow is less.
Yes.
So that relation won't be evident when there are these conditions like flap wall VSD or a DCRV. Okay.
Sir, top with AV canal defect, sir.
AV canal defect also the murmur can be longer. That is a different situation wherein the apical impulse would be of LV type.
LV type, sir.
Here we are discussing with RV effects.
Okay, sir.
Now you tell all the reasons for longer murmur in tetralogy, irrespective of the effects. Character of the apical impulse.
Sir, irrespective, sir. Okay. Sir, top with aortic regurgitation, sir. Top with PDA. Top with the MAPCA.
Systolic murmur or diastolic murmur?
So diastolic murmur, sir.
Then
Okay.
here the systolic murmur we are seeing. Systolic murmur which is disproportionately louder, disproportionately longer compared to the degree of cyanosis. What are all the situations in tetralogy? Two we have already discussed.
DORV variant, sir. DORV, sir.
TGA with unfavorable streaming, sir.
That is TGA.
But DORV is different. That is infection physiology. Here we are discussing routine tetralogy, no? Classical tetralogy.
Yes.
When we already said tetralogy to AV canal defect. When there is AV canal defect, the murmur of left AV wall regurgitation can be transmitted to the base. But there will be murmur at the apex.
But it will be LV type of apex, sir, again.
LV type of apex. So I told you irrespective of the apex, no?
Irrespective of apex, sir. Okay.
So irrespective of the apex,
Sir, CCTGA, VSD, PS with left avial regurgitation, sir.
That is not tetralogy, no? That is considered
Top
as
physiology, sir. Physiology. VSDPS physiology.
different. Here we are discussing only tetralogy. Tetralogy with a long murmur. Tetralogy with flap wall VSD, you said. DCRV, you said. Tetralogy with endocardial cushion defects, you said.
Sir, atresia with MAPCA, can we say, sir? But it will be continuous murmur. MAPCA, sir. But it will be a continuous murmur.
MAPCAs won't produce. Okay. Anything else? Sorry.
Absent LPO.
Hmm?
Absent LPO.
Peripheral artery stenosis. But again, it will be continuous murmur on this.
Peripheral branch pulmonary artery stenosis?
It will be continuous murmur will be there.
Not necessarily be. You can have systolic murmur also, no?
Okay.
So you can have a systolic murmur also. Okay, anything else? Any hyperdynamic circulatory states associated with this?
Yes, anemia, sir.
Those are more common actually. So hyperdynamic states associated with tetralogy, anemia, or aortic regurgitation. So all these high output states also can result in a prominent murmur. Okay?
Yes.
Right. So we have discussed tetralogy with a long murmur. So now VSDPS physiology with a long murmur.
VSDPS physiology with long murmur will be DORV, sir. First, DORV, sir.
DORV.
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 CCTJ with left avial regurgitation. And
VSDPS with left avial regurgitation. Yes.
Single ventricle with restrictive bulboventricular foramen.
Okay. And more important.
Top with avicanal defect we already discussed. And tricuspid atresia, sir.
Tricuspid atresia, that's very important. Tricuspid atresia, the murmur is very much longer, louder, associated with thrill. Tricuspid atresia. Anything else?
Severe PS ASD, sir. Severe PS with ASD, sir.
Why severe PS ASD?
Murmur will
Here we are discussing VSDPS physiologists.
Okay.
First we discussed tetralogy with long murmur. Now we are discussing VSDPS physiologists with long murmur.
Yes. It's a DOF with DCRV also we already discussed.
That DCRV.
But we already discussed in DOF.
Yeah. That same thing comes into this also.
Yes.
This is also VSDPS physiology when there is a large VSD communicating with a high pressure chamber. Okay.
Yes.
Right. Go to ECG.
So 12-lead 4-channel ECG, sir. Standardization I cannot see. I presume it to be 10 millimeter for 1 millivolt. And there is normal sinus rhythm, sir, of rate around 60, 75, sir. And P wave is normal, sir, with normal axis and normal morphology. QRS is narrow QRS complex, sir. It is showing a monomorphic R wave in V1, sir. Sorry, axis loop I have not discussed. So there is counterclockwise. Actually, Q waves are not discernible in dim lead, sir. See.
Not seen clearly.
Yes, sir. Probably AVL there is a Q wave. But, not sure, sir. It is not seen, sir. Actually, Q waves are not seen, sir. But there is a right axis deviation, sir. Extreme right axis deviation.
How much it is?
Sorry. Right axis deviation, sir. Around 1.
Is the AVR?
But it is less than 1.
AVR is positive, no?
Positive, sir.
So where will be the axis?
Right axis.
Extreme
only.
left.
Extreme.
All the leads are showing prominent S5, no? S1, S2, S3.
Yes. So right axis.
How can it be right axis? L1 is negative. AVF is negative. It's a northwest.
Extreme
extreme
axis.
left.
Extreme axis. Extreme
No.
axis.
It's a northwest axis.
Northwest. Yes. Sir.
AVR is clearly positive. L1 is negative. AVF is negative. So the axis would be in the
Northwest.
upper right quadrant, that is northwest. Okay. Yes.
So
Anything else?
monomorphic
Yeah.
R wave in V1, sir.
R wave in V1.
Suggestive of RVH, sir. There is ST depression in V1, V2, V3. So RVH with strain is there, sir. And there is early transition, sir. At V2, there is the QRS complex or equivalent.
Yes.
And, so, there is PR interval is normal, sir. PR interval is normal, sir. And
Yes,
sir.
what else should you look for?
Chamber enlargements other than RV, no right atrial enlargements. Sir, here.
Findings, he has suspected some possibilities, no? No, in
Sorry,
the
sir.
diagnosis, with each investigation, we should narrow down the possibilities.
Yes, sir.
Become wiser and wiser as we go on to the various investigations and cut down the number of possibilities to one or two.
Sir, is a PR prolongation, sir. V1 it appears. Sir.
How much it is?
It is around 200 milliseconds, sir.
Looks like less than up to 200. Okay.
So there is RVH with strain is there, sir. So classical TOF, we don't expect RVH with strain, sir. Only RVH is expected. Early transition goes in favor of TOF physiology only. And there is borderline PR, sir. Borderline PR prolongation with the northwest axis and RVH with strain. So it goes more in favor of DORV, sir.
DORV. DORV, what would be the axis like?
Extreme right axis deviation, sir. Greater than 135 is expected.
The axis could be right axis deviation.
It will depend on the severity of pulmonary stenosis.
Rightward axis only.
It will depend on the severity of PS.
More than tetralogy. Normally in tetralogy, the axis would be 100 to 110, not more than that. In DORV situation, the axis would be 110 to greater than that. So if there is a more rightward axis, that is a point in favor of DORV rather than tetralogy. With VSD-PS physiology.
Yes, sir.
Without VSD-PS, without PS, it is a leftward axis. In both conditions,
yes.
it is a counterclock loop.
Yes, sir. There is axis loop discordance with the PS.
Here, you did not comment about the loop, no? There is a small Q wave in AVL.
But it is not very clear, sir. So, no. Yes.
Seen? No?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So it is clockwise loop only, sir.
AVL Q wave is clockwise.
Sorry. Counterclockwise loop, sir. Counterclockwise loop, sir.
Counterclock loop. Okay. Looks like it is a counterclock loop. RVH with strain pattern and northwest axis. More rightward or northwest axis. Okay. Anything else? What else? What other ECG findings you should look for in DORV?
Sir, we expect right atrial enlargement, sir. Notching of QRS complexes in inferior leads. Slurring of R-wave upstroke, we expect in slurring of R-wave upstroke, sir.
Where? In which leads?
Lateral lead, sir. V5, V6.
S-wave?
S5 notching can be seen in inferior lead, sir.
Here it is there or not?
It is there, sir. It is there, sir.
Okay, you should look for S wave notching as well as R wave notching also in DORV.
Yes.
Oh. Any conduction disturbances? You said PR is upper limit of normal. PR.
Yes, sir. It's borderline upper limit, so it is around 200.
Okay. Yes. Is it a single ventricle? Other admixture physiologists you should rule
So
out.
single ventricle, I expect stereotypic QRS complexes, sir. And with non-inverted outlet chamber, there can be right axis deviation with clockwise loop, sir. But there won't be any axis loop discordance, sir. With inverted outlet chamber, there will be left axis deviation with counterclockwise loop, sir. With few
Tell the opposite.
pre-excite. Hello, sir.
Non-inverted rudimentary chamber, what will be the axis?
Non-inverted outlet chamber, it will be left axis deviation with counterclockwise loop,
You
sir.
said opposite.
Okay, sorry. Yes, sir. With
Non-inverted,
Yes.
it is the leftward axis. Inverted rudimentary chamber, it is an inferior axis.
yes,
No.
and stereotypic QRS complexes is expected, and pre-excitations or conduction abnormalities can be there.
Yes.
And with if it is not NRGA, then we expect Q wave in V1, sir.
Q wave and V1 and absence of Q wave.
Absence of Q waves in V5, V6.
Okay. Is it tricuspid atresia?
So tricuspid atresia, there will be counterclockwise loop with left axis deviation, sir.
Here it is.
The right atrial enlargement. Left axis deviation is not this.
The axis is, it is a superior axis, northwest.
So there will be adult precordial transition of QRS complexes.
Leftward axis, you say it is a northwest axis. Okay. Anything else? Which
Right
is
atrial enlargement, sir.
tricuspid atresia? The one single finding?
Sir, I can't hear you, sir.
No, what is totally against tricuspid atresia? One single finding.
R wave in V1, sir.
Prominent R wave. RVH with strain pattern. So when there is RVH with strain pattern, you can rule out tricuspid atresia. Hello?
Yes. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Am I audible?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes. Anything else? Is
So
it
DTJ, sir?
Is it tetralogy?
No, it is not tetralogy, sir. RV won't be under strain in tetralogy, sir. RV won't be under strain in tetralogy, sir. There won't be RV strain.
Uncommon in adult tetralogists, sometimes there can be RVH with strain. Of course, the child is 8 only.
So, yes, sir.
Adult tetralogy,
Cause-
there can be strain pattern. No?
Yes,
But
sir. Yes,
northwest axis is very uncommon in tetralogy. And also there is a counterclock loop. So when there is a counterclock loop and northwest or leftward axis or superior axis in tetralogy, what should you suspect? Endocardial cushion defect.
yes, sir.
You should suspect an endocardial cushion defect when there is counterclock loop and superior axis.
Yes.
Okay.
The LV forces will be dominant. sir.
There is a left heavy wall regurgitation, severe left heavy wall regurgitation.
Yes.
LV may be enlarged. Yes. Yes. Anything else?
So DTJ we get similar ECG, sir, but axis loop will be right axis and clockwise loop, sir. DTJ VSDPS.
Sorry. Yeah. Go ahead.
So it's a DTJ VSDPS. ECG features will be close to DRV, but there will be right axis deviation with clockwise loop, sir.
Clockwise loop.
Yes, sir. Otherwise, other features are more or less similar to DRV. sir.
Yes.
And
But other
LT
would be there, no? Like conduction disturbances,
yes.
S wave notching, R wave notching. These things are unusual for detransposition.
Yes, sir.
Whereas DORV, all these classical features will be there.
Yes, sir.
Not only RVH with strain pattern, loop will be counterclock loop. Counterclock loop and RVA notching, SVA notching, conduction distance, all these things are fairly common with DORV. Detransmission you don't get, only RVH with strain pattern and right
Strain.
chord axis. And clockwise loop.
Yes, sir. So PR prolongation and right atrial enlargement are also possible, no, sir? DTG.
Possible. It is possible but not common. Yes?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. In LTGA, we expect a QA, sir. QA in V1 and V2. And LTGA VSDPS. And again, axis will be right axis, sir, with clockwise loop. And
Yes.
T wave in V1 will be taller than V6, sir.
You have been?
T wave in V1 will be taller than V6, sir. T wave in V6.
In
LTGA, sir. Transposition.
L-transport. What else? What other important things will be conduction?
Hard blocks will be there.
Hard blocks. Very common with L-transposition. Okay.
With left heavy valve regurgitation, LV forces will be predominant.
Okay.
Sir, chest X-ray PA view, sir. Well centralized, sir. Exposure is adequate and penetration is normal, sir. And situs solitus, levocardia, and there is no cardiomegaly. So CT ratio is around 0.55. And apex is RV type, sir. Upturned apex.
Yes.
And pulmonary bay is present, sir. And there is right atrial enlargement.
Yes.
And there is, it appears like ascending aorta dilation, sir. Ascending aorta is prominent, sir, border forming.
Arch.
Arch is right aortic arch, sir. Left aortic arch. Left aortic arch, sir, sorry.
How do you know?
There is tracheal indentation above, sir, on the
Indentation.
left side.
Okay.
Sir,
Yes.
is ascending aorta slightly dilated, sir?
Slightly dilated.
Because it is,
Ascending aorta.
sir?
Is it SVC or ascending aorta?
It is starting right after right atrium, sir. So probably ascending aorta.
Mm-hmm.
And ascending aorta dilation is also expected with.
Differentiate whether it is ascending aorta or SVC.
Sir, sorry, sir.
How do you differentiate whether it is ascending aorta or SVC?
Sir, ascending aorta will be in continuation with the right atrial border, sir.
That is not important.
Clinically, we can correlate, sir.
No, SVC shadow goes into the right into the
Neck.
whereas ascending aorta won't go into the neck. It arches there.
Yeah.
If the vertical shadow is going right into the neck, that is a point in favor of
SVC, sir.
SVC rather. Right. Here it is slightly going up above this thing, ascending aortic shadow or almost into the neck. Okay. Anything else?
Sir, sir, there is a
Pulmonary blood flow.
the upper. Yes, sir. Pulmonary blood flow, pulmonary bay is present, sir. But sir, right descending pulmonary artery appears prominent, sir, for the age.
Pulmonary blood flow.
Sir, it appears adequate, sir. Slightly more on the left.
Why adequate?
Or,
Middle one third.
maybe because penetration is more, sir.
Hmm?
Penetration is more, sir, probably. So,
Okay. Middle to one third also vascular markings are not prominent, no? Not properly.
yes. Sir, is there a shadow on the upper left side of mediastinum, sir? Above aortic knuckle.
What is that shadow?
Probably the BT shunt they have put, sir.
BT shunt usually won't be seen.
Won't cast.
Not very clear. Okay. What about situs?
Situs solitus, sir.
Bronchial status.
Bronchi are not seen, sir, actually.
Air
Bronchial status are,
in
sorry, sir.
air bronchogram is not.
It is there, sir. It is there on the left side.
Bronchial status also seems to be soletus only. Okay.
Sir, but here the bronchi are not apparent, no, sir. How can we know, sir?
Air bronchogram is seen, no, faintly seen.
Yes,
Not
sir.
classical, it's faintly seen.
Sir, but air bronchogram can be present on both the sides, no, sir.
Basing on that only you will know, no, course of the bronchi, whether it is vertical, whether it is horizontal, what is the width of the shadow. Basing on that only we will decide whether it is a left-sided bronchus or a right-sided bronchus.
Yes, sir.
Otherwise, how do you know whether it is bronchus or not?
Yes, yes, sir.
That is basing on air only.
Yes, sir.
That is basing on the air bronchogram only, a bronchial shadow will be evident. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Yes? No, X-ray. Other possibilities? So what is the possibility after looking at the X-ray?
Sir, RV type of apex it is forming, sir. With pulmonary bay and right atrial enlargement, and slightly it's not wider, but at least normal vascular pedicle. This X-ray goes more in favor of DOR only, sir. But still, yes, sir, right atrial enlargement slightly there, sir.
DOR, what will be the vascular pedicle like?
If it is Malpose great arteries, then the vascular pedicle will be wide enough, sir. If it is normal related, then it would still be normal. If there is malposition, then vascular pedicle would be wider.
Which is more common?
Sorry, sir.
Malposition or normal vascular pedicle? Or
Malposed.
side by side arrangement?
Side by side arrangement is more common, sir.
Hmm.
So wide vascular pedicle will be there.
But if the arrangement is normal, then the vascular pedicle may not be widened. But DOR, commonly it's a side by side arrangement or a D malposition or a L malposition.
Yes.
In such cases, vascular pedicle is widened.
Yes.
Anything else in DOR we should look for, like radiologically?
Right atrial enlargement, sir.
That is there. Tetralogy also sometimes right atrium can be enlarged, but right atrial enlargement, cardiomegaly.
Cardiomegaly will be there, yes.
Point in favor of DORV rather than tetralogy. Anything else? Right aortic arch?
Right aortic arch is more common with TOF only, sir. 25% with TOF. DOR it is around 10% only, sir.
Okay.
If it is a restrictive VST, then LV dominance can be there, sir, in extreme.
Okay. Right. Go to the next. Okay.
So today, sir, situs solitus, levocardia, 2 atria, 2 ventricles, DORV with hypoplastic left ventricle, severe valvular and infundibular pulmonary stenosis, large subaortic ventricular septal defect with 70% aortic override, with iotomitral discontinuity present, sir. Hypoplastic confluent pulmonary arteries, aorta is right and anterior to pulmonary artery, and left aortic arch, no coarctation, sir. Patent left-sided BT shunt with good biventricular function.
Yes. So it's basically DORV with D malposition.
Yes, sir.
Aorta is right and anterior to the PA, no? That is D malposition aorta.
Yes, yes, sir. Yes.
So it's the DORV with D malposition. And hypoplastic pulmonary arteries functioning BT shunt.
Yes, sir.
And good ventricular function.
Good biventricular function, sir. So cath, sir. So cath data, patient's height is 128 centimeters, weight is 27 kgs, body surface area is 0.98 meters square, sir. And hemoglobin is 15.4 grams, and packed cell volume is 53. Sir, pressure data, sir.
Now you can comment about anemia or not.
Yes, sir. No anemia, sir. 15 grams.
Yes, severe systemic desaturation, you expect hemoglobin to be 15?
Polycythemia, we expect, sir.
Yes. So we should say there is relative anemia.
Relative anemia, yes. Sir, pressure data, sir. Femoral artery pressures are 110 by 70, sir. 110 by 70 millimeter of mercury. Right ventricular pressures are 110 millimeter of mercury systolic and 8 millimeter diastolic, sir. Right atrial pressures are 8, sir. They're normal. And LV, sir, systolic pressures are 110 and diastolic are around 8. So there is systolic equalization of RV, LV, and femoral artery pressures. So the pressure data is consistent with VSD-PS physiology, sir.
And what else it indicates? So there is
Non-restrictive VSD, sir.
non-restrictive VSD.
Yes, sir.
There is no alveolar obstruction also.
Yes, yes, sir.
Right.
And saturation data, sir. SVC it is 69%, sir. IVC it is 70%. Right atrial saturation it is 71%, sir. And RV it is 74, sir. And femoral artery it is 80%, sir. A significant systemic desaturation, sir.
Yes.
And ideally, saturation at the level of LA and LV should be taken, sir, to localize the shunt.
What should you localize?
A level of shunt, sir. If it is at the level of ventricular septum, ideally, sir, ventricular septum or atrial septum. Level of desaturation.
RV saturation was taken, no? RV,
Yes, sir.
LV also.
Yes, sir, LV.
Okay.
So there is significant right to left shunt, probably at the level of RV, sir. Excuse me. So.
Okay. Hello?
Sir. Hello, sir.
So there is severe systemic desaturation despite the BT shunt being patent.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
How do you explain that?
Sir, the child might have outgrown the shunt, sir.
Yes.
Or,
It's not enough. Okay.
Or there can be, but here the BT shunt is working.
Partial occlusion of the shunts also.
Partial occlusion can be there, sir, with secondary to any thrombus in the shunt or any neointimal hyperplasia.
Yes.
Or any kinking of the shunt.
Kinking of the shunt, yes.
Or usually post-operatively you can see, sir, if there is anastomotic site, improper suture line, sir, then stenosis at the anastomotic site.
Yes.
Or an infective endocarditis, occluding the shunt.
All the reasons.
Occluding the shunt.
Desaturation. Partially occlude the shunt.
Yes.
Resulting in decreased flow. That can also cause severe systemic desaturation.
Presence of anemia or any intracardiac lesions like any aortic regurgitation or pulmonary regurgitation can desaturate. So.
Why anemia desaturates?
Because
severe anemia will happen to the cyanosis.
Sorry, sir.
Severe anemia.
Yes, sir.
What is the normal requirements of reduced hemoglobin to be there in the circulation to cause cyanosis?
Sir, sorry, sir, I didn't get the question. Severe anemia, sir.
What is? Am I audible?
Yes, sir, but you're breaking a bit. Yes, sir. My network is bad, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, sir.
What
Severe
is the
anemia.
amount of reduced hemoglobin needed in the circulation to cause
5, sir.
cyanosis?
5, sir. 5 grams.
In case of severe anemia, if the reduced hemoglobin is less, what will happen?
Okay. Cyanosis should be less.
Should be less. So anemia will have a actual opposite effect on the cyanosis. There is severe anemia.
Okay, sir.
Okay.
Sir, their cyanosis won't be detectable, but systemic desaturation will be there, no, sir?
Yeah, the stomach desaturation will be there.
So, clinically, cyanosis won't be detectable.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, sir.
Cyanosis may be underestimated.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Yes, go ahead.
Sir, here can we differentiate between DORV and TOF, sir, depending on pressure data? But here,
How do you differentiate DORV and
but
tetralogy?
so that is possible only if the VSD is restrictive.
So VSD is restricted. What will happen to the pressures?
Sir, if it is VSD is restrictive in TOF, RV will be RV pressure will be more than LV, sir, and pressures in LV and iota will be same, sir. Whereas in DORV with restrictive VSD, LV pressures will be more, sir, and RV pressures and iota pressures will be same.
So LV pressure will be more in a restrictive VSD. So here both pressures are equal. No, you have ruled out
Large.
restrictive VSD.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah. Okay. Anything you have? Angiograms?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I have, sir. Sir, is it clear, sir?
Okay. Good.
Sir, this is AP cranial view, sir. It is sitting up view. The catheter course is femoral vein to IVC to RA to RV, sir. Pigtail catheter, sir.
Pigtail.
And,
What is that catheter?
sir,
What is seen at the tip of the catheter?
sir, Burman, sir, is it?
There is a balloon, no?
Balloon, sir. Okay, Burman catheter, sir. RA to RV, sir. And, sir, it is showing coarsely trabeculated, well contractile RV, sir. There is obstruction at infundibular level and even at the valvular level, sir. There is simultaneous filling of aorta and pulmonary artery.
Both are filling simultaneously. Yeah.
More or less, sir.
Pulmonary is coming very late.
Okay. Yes. Sir, and there is a coronal septum.
Now the pulmonary artery is appearing.
Okay. Yes, sir. Aorta is filling first.
So there is severe infundibular narrowing there. And
yes, sir.
What else do you see?
Sir, there is a teardrop sign, sir. Conal septum will be seen, sir.
So there should be double conal. When you are doing an RV angiogram in AP angulation, AP cranial angulation, you will be seeing double conal, subaortic conus also. If you can freeze, you can. I won't be able to freeze it, no? Just
yes,
freeze
yes.
it. No. After the dye injected, go frame by frame. I will tell you. Yeah, this one. Freeze it. Now you are seeing below the aortic wall there is a neck-like thing, no?
Yes, that is subaortic conus.
This one.
Yes, sir. Subaortic conus.
Arrow is in.
Yes, sir.
So this is the subaortic conus.
Yes.
This is the subpulmonary conus. So there are double conai. This is the in between is the conal septum. This one.
Yes, sir.
So bilateral conai are seen here. So that is a point very classical of DORV.
Yes, sir.
Can you show the arrows again, sir, please?
Rather, sir is not controlling the screen. No.
You're able to see the arrow?
No, sir. Sir, actually,
Okay.
so we are sharing the screen, sir, so you won't be able to.
Yeah, you won't be able to write. Okay. So below the aorta is the that neck-like thing. Touching up to the RV is the subaortic conus. Below the pulmonary valve is the subpulmonic conus. So here subpulmonic conus is very much narrowed. It is almost as streak-like. The infundibular stenosis.
Yes, sir.
Are you able to appreciate?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Sir, is that the teardrop sign, sir? The middle one, the conal septum.
That is all corner septum, separating the subaortic conus
Yes.
and the subpulmonic conus.
That is called teardrop sign, sir.
Teardrops. Yeah. So basically, subpulmonic conus is very much narrow because of the infundibular stenosis.
Yes,
Okay.
Yes, sir.
So bilateral coni is a point which is strongly in favor of DORV. So what are the other findings you notice in AP angiogram in DORV?
So both the valves
So
at same
conal
level, sir. Both the valves at same level.
Both the AV valves are at, both the semilunar valves are at the same level. That is one thing. Second thing is simultaneous opacification of the great vessels. Because aorta and pulmonary artery both will be almost coming from the right ventricle, simultaneous opacification will be there usually, but in this case, because of the very severe infundibular narrowing, pulmonary artery is filling a little late.
So
This is
there is
because of
also
very severe infundibular narrowing. Otherwise, usually both will fill simultaneously. Third point is bilateral coni. These are the three findings which distinguish it from routine tetralogy when there is RV angiogram in AP angulation.
yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
These are the 3 points which differentiates a DORV from tetralogy in AP angulation.
Yes, sir. So there is also annular valvular pulmonary stenosis also, sir, and hypoplastic peripheral arteries.
Maybe, but you are not seeing me properly, no? The
It
filling-
is, yeah.
Filling of the pulmonary artery is very much delayed. Run it. Yeah. Now you are seeing the pulmonary wall, and
Yes.
all pulmonary arteries are smaller, hypoplastic pulmonary arteries. Okay. Next.
No, the before one. There is another one before this.
This is.
So this is LV angiogram, sir, with catheter course, femoral artery to descending aorta to aortic arch and ascending aorta to LV, sir, and
Which catheter?
sir, pigtail catheter.
Tail catheter. Okay. In which angulation? Everything you
So
should.
this is LAO, sir, sir, LAO cranial, sir.
Allow cranial, possibly laxo angulation.
Laxo angulations.
Left anterior oblique.
60-30.
Long axial oblique view, sorry. Long axial oblique view, that is
Oblique.
lax. Okay.
Laxo views. Sir, here LV appears small, sir, hypoplastic, sir, but it is well contracting. And
Not very hypoplastic, LV is smaller.
smaller, sir, smaller. And there is a subaortic VSD, sir, large subaortic VSD through which the RV is filling.
Yes.
And from LV, aorta is being filled, sir. Ascending aorta arch and descending aorta seen. Left aortic arch, so mostly.
Yes.
And there is no left AV valve regurgitation we can rule out.
No left AV valve regurgitation. No additional VSTs.
No additional
LV function is
VSTs.
perfect. LV function is not. Okay.
Yes.
Here you are seeing a gap between the aortic valve and the that you should comment. That
Yes,
is
itomitral discontinuity is there, sir.
discontinuity. Yeah. So itomitral discontinuity is best seen in
Parasternal long axis in echo, sir, and laxo view in
laxo view,
angio, sir.
long axis oblique view.
Oblique view.
So here, if you freeze, you can see the distance between the mitral valve and the. You freeze it. Go frame by frame. Some more, one more frame. Yes, that neck-like thing. That no. Don't. Go back. One more. Again. Yes. Here you can see that neck-like thing.
Yes, sir.
Where is the? Can you put the arrow there? I'll guide you.
Yes, sir. Rajesh? Sir, actually Rajesh is playing the video, sir.
So here that neck-like thing is the subaortic conus, which is separating the mitral valve and the aortic valve.
Aortic valve, yes.
So aortic mitral discontinuity is seen. Aortic valve is higher up and mitral valve is lower, and neck-like subaortic conus is separating the mitral valve and the aortic valve, causing aortomitral discontinuity.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Yes. Next.
Oh my God. So this is apicranial view, sir. With
Not
plain AP. Sir,
injection.
so it is JR, sir. JR catheter, sir. Injection of the lip subclavian artery showing patent BT shunt, sir.
Yes. The injection is not very clear.
Yes.
Is there an arrow lower down?
Lower down, probably my stenos it is.
You should have taken either RAO view or LIV view. That would have shown. Looks like there is some narrowing lower down.
Yes, sir. At the anastomotic side, sir. Is it
At the anastomotic side, yes. Okay. So, final conclusion is?
So one more angio is there, sir. Iotogram is there, sir. So pigtail in ascending aorta, sir. Sir, it is showing. Actually, she had some anomalous coronary, sir. Both the RCA and LCA, sir. LCX is arising from right conus. So here it is, sir. Here LCX is arising from right conus.
Right conus or right sinus?
Right, sorry, right sinus. And there is no associated aortic anomaly, sir. And no aortic regurgitation, no coarctation, sir.
Yes, what else would you do?
Arch vessels we are supposed to come in, sir. Arch vessels were seen in another view, sir. RV angio, we could see arch vessels. And arch-sidedness.
The other most important thing is you should demonstrate whether that coronary artery is going in between aorta and the pulmonary artery.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, that's surgically it may be relevant. First in DORV situation, you will be, suppose if you are going for an extracardiac conduit, then it's okay.
Yes. So how can we demonstrate a coronary passing between the two major arteries, sir? Simultaneous injection should we take?
That's what you have to answer.
Yes, sir. Okay. Yes, sir.
But it's not easy to demonstrate in this thing, cardiac catheterization. One catheter will be put on the pulmonary artery. Here, won't be able to go into the pulmonary artery, no? Except through the BT shunt. Antigravity cannot go into the pulmonary artery.
Yes, sir.
It has very tight narrowing of the infundibulum.
Yes, sir.
Otherwise, you put one catheter in the aorta and another in the pulmonary artery, take a lateral injection. So, if that coronary artery is going in between the aorta and pulmonary artery, we can demonstrate.
Yes, sir.
Otherwise, take a CT angiogram.
CT angio.
CT angiogram will show you whether the coronary artery is going in between aorta and pulmonary artery. Okay?
Yes.
Right.
Here we can see arch vessels.
Okay, what is the final conclusion?
So likely the BT shunt is stenosed, and right now the child needs a corrective
But you
surgery.
complete diagnosis. Now you have completed everything, no? Including cardiac catheterization.
Yes, sir.
Give a complete comprehensive diagnosis.
Cyanotic congenital heart disease, sir.
Hmm.
DRV with non-restrictive subaortic VSD with infundibular and valvular severe infundibular and valvular pulmonary stenosis, sir, with hypoplastic pulmonary arteries.
Yes.
And LV is slightly small size, sir, but it is normal functioning.
Hmm.
But in echo, so post BT shunt, sir, modified BT shunt, with probable stenosis at the anastomotic site.
Yes.
So now the baby needs a corrective surgery, sir. For her to go through intracardiac repair, we have to see the LV adequacy, sir.
The diagnosis, two more things you omitted. We need to include
Post, yes, sir, yes, sir. With an anomalous left coronary artery.
anomalous coronary artery from the right sinus.
Yes, sir.
And one more thing. Anybody?
Itomitral discontinuity, sir.
You are
DRV.
What about others who are following very closely? What is the other thing that
Malpost great arteries, sir. Aorta right and anterior.
detransposition or demalposition? You say demalposition. Whenever you describe DORV, always say demalposition rather than transposition. Last time I told you what is the difference between malposition and transposition.
Yes, a malposition ventricular arterial relation remains concordant, sir.
Yes.
But the great artery relations will vary, whereas in transposition, ventricular arterial discordance will be there.
Ventricular arterial discordance will be there. In malposition, 1.5 great vessels will be originating from the right ventricle. No, here in DORV. So
Yes,
that's
sir.
the reason why you shouldn't call it transposition. It's malposition.
Malposition, yes. So
Okay.
this baby needs evaluation of left ventricle, sir, echo-wise. We have to see the LV adequacy. Because
Okay.
cath it is showing a slightly small sized LV, so we have to see.
Hmm.
So
Yeah.
we have. So Nacio index we can see, sir. If the LV endastolic dimension is less than 60% of the normal, or LV endastolic volume is less than 30 ml per meter square of body surface area, or if the mitral value is less than 2 standard deviations, then we cannot give an intracardiac repair, sir.
Yes. What else? What else is important in this?
Pulmonary arteries, sir. Pulmonary arteries.
Because they are
And-
hypoplastic.
Hypoplastic, sir. So pulmonary artery adequacy we have to calculate, sir.
How do you know?
So there are various indices, sir. Magoon index is sum of LPA plus RPA to descending aorta at the level of diaphragm, sir. And
Yeah.
LPA RPA we take before pre-branching site we take measurements, sir.
Hmm.
So that ratio we have to see, sir. Also Nakata index we have to see.
Index. Hmm.
Nakata index is index to body surface area, sir.
Hmm.
Index to body surface area. So if Nakata index is normally it should be around 330, sir.
Hmm.
Around 330, sir, normal. And
What is the Z value?
Z value it should be greater than 2 standard deviations, sir. Less than 2 standard deviations. It should, up to 2 standard deviations it should be, sir.
Hmm.
Only then we can say the pulmonary arteries are adequate.
You read thoroughly about Magoon's ratio is radiological or angiographic?
Angiographic, sir.
Hmm.
Angiographic, sir.
So you read about Magoon's ratio. I think Magoon's ratio you told. Nakata and Z value you read. Hmm?
Z value, yes, sir. Yes, sir. Should be greater than up to 2 standard deviations. Less than the normal standards, we can do intracardiac repair, sir.
Hello.
Hello, sir.
Just a minute, please be on the line. No?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Second. No, sir. Okay. Yes.
Sir, I think greater than 2 standard deviations, we can do an intracardiac repair, sir. If it is 3 to 7, minus 3 to minus 7, we can give a transannular patch.
Hmm.
If it is less than points, no, less than 6, minus 6 or minus 7, sir, then we can give a BT shunt.
What was any other issue in this case as far as surgery is concerned?
Other issues, sir.
So what would be the
A non-routable VSD if it is there, sir.
it is a demalformation.
Routability of VSD and
Yeah.
so.
Hmm?
Yes, sir.
Yes. What type of surgery you would plan?
Here, LV appears slightly small, sir. So echo we have to do first, sir. Proper echo.
So that LV and femoral assessment we discuss.
Yes, sir. So, but there is malposition of great vessel, sir.
What is the VST, whether it is routable or not? Here there is a demalposition, no?
Yes, sir. Demalposition, sir.
Demalposition of the great arteries. How far it is from the VST, they have to assess before we surgically subject the patient to incorrection.
Yes, sir. So,
Okay, anything? Any other doubts?
so, Rastelli can be done in this procedure, sir. Can we do Rastelli?
Hello?
Sir, can we do Rastelli in this procedure, sir?
Yeah, we have to assess
Or
the
DKs?
LV size assessment has to be done.
Yes, yes, sir.
Pulmonary arteries are hypoplastic.
Yes,
So
sir.
after all this only, then we can decide about the type of surgery. Not now. Okay?
And sir, for Rastelli, pulmonary artery should be adequate also.
Yeah,
And
adequate.
MPA should be adequate. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
It's
Yes.
hypoplastic, no?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay.
If they are not adequate, we can go for a Fontan.
Quantum cell.
Sir, one doubt, sir.
Yes.
Sir, early transition in case of ECG from V1 to V2, is it specific for TOP? Can be seen in other VST PS physiology, sir?
No, it won't be seen in other VSTPS physiologists. It is
But in this case, there is early transition. Doubt.
yeah. Because if early transition is there, that is a point strongly in favor of tetralogy rather than DORB.
Yes, sir. Okay, sir.
Yes.
Sir, it is the VSD that is the cause of early transition, no, sir, that window effect. So why is it not true with any other VSD PS physiology, sir? Other conditions with VSD PS physiology? Early transition.
Other conditions, actually, it's not classically described for reasons unknown. They nowhere the clear-cut explanation is given. The people say that it's because of the VST only.
Yes.
Representation of the negative forces through the VST. So that's the reason why S wave appears suddenly in the V2.
So in other conditions also we can expect early transition, no, sir, in that case. VSD PS physiology.
Yeah, you could expect, but it won't be seen that commonly. Only in tetralogy, it is early transition is classically described. In other conditions, it is not seen, no?
Yes, sir.
But nowhere the explanation is very clear about this. Say it's because of VST only.
Yes, sir.
Okay?
Yes.
We'll stop?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, right. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
sir.